There's no air in Copenhagen. It's foggy all winter. Nothing happens. And all the houses look like damp cardboard boxes. In my business, writing stories and creating films, you have to rely on other people making decisions. And you can't get anywhere. You work and work, but you don't get any credit. It all seems so pointless. Nobody needs a creative talent anymore. The ability to sell yourself. That's the big thing today. What's that? That doesn't belong here. Where's it from? How did you get in Kongens Have? I didn't pick it up. People might stare. Where does this stone come from? A mountain, of course. But there aren't any mountains around here. What is it you want? I have a feeling that you want to tell me something. Are you going to reveal something to me? There's so much dirt here in Copenhagen. I've no idea where you've been. You could have been in the red light district. Somebody picked you up somewhere in the countryside and then threw you on the grass, right? Yes. You want to go home, don't you? The stone works well as a paperweight. But it looks like a mountain. A big, powerful mountain. The highest mountain in Scandinavia. It's as if it's got the shape of a shoe. And then it has 3 long peaks. But the problem is, it wants to leave all the time. I decided to travel to Himmelbjerget with the stone deep in my pocket. The people on board know nothing about my mission. In fact, I'm a little worried that the stone will roll out of my pocket, and then I'll have to explain my crazy task. My mission is to return the stone to its natural surroundings, up to the highest mountain in Denmark. The journey starts in Silkeborg, on the oldest working paddle steamer in the world, llin. We sail up the river. The captain's at his position, but down in the engine room the stoker is working hard. He's the one keeping the ship moving, but it's the captain who gets the praise. Llin was built by Burmeister and Wain in 1851. In the old days it transported people in the post up the river, but now it's only people. It's carried over 1 million passengers. Just think how many stokers have been worn out down there by the heat. He's maybe dreamt about being the captain, but his dreams come to nothing. There's only room for work. The boat trip isn't just about beautiful scenery. There are also many attractive houses down by the water's edge. People tell me that they're holiday homes, but they don't look like holiday homes. They're the houses of the rich. It's football stars, successful business people, and a film director who have their holiday homes here. What sort of monthly salary do they get? Can I achieve as much with my own creative talent? This doesn't look like anything I've seen before. This is probably the most attractive place in Denmark. I think the stone is in the process of showing me something. There aren't any mountains here, but there's a boat at the end of every jetty. Just think if I had a boat outside of my balcony window. straight out of bed and into the boat. I could have my typewriter on the jetty and write at sunset. I could jump into the water and dive down for ideas. I doubt that I'll ever own a house like that. Little friend, you sent me on a strange journey. I think this is just the beginning of a long and fantastic voyage, and that there'll be obstacles along the way. How can I tell if you come from Himmelbjerget? Will I be able to tell when we get all the way up to the top? We're getting closer. There's something pointing up out of the landscape. Something's happening. There it is, Himmelbjerget with its tower. Himmelbjerget is 147 meters high, and the tower itself is 25 meters tall, but it's not Denmark's highest point. The highest is in the same area and is 170 meters high. But Himmelbjerget is an historic mount, and therefore the most visited in Denmark. What? There's only gravel here. You don't fit in here, my friend. You don't come from Himmelbjerget. Denmark is actually a very beautiful country. I wouldn't have found that out if I hadn't started on this journey. Here I am at the top of Denmark with you in my pocket. Why? What is it you want to show me? Why don't I just drop you down onto the grass here and call it quits? No. I'll keep searching. This is where I find geology lecturer Erik Skov Jensen.
Den sten har jeg fundet på græsset i Kongens Have, og jeg ved ikke, hvor den her sten kommer fra. Kommer den fra Danmark?
Det gør den ikke, fordi vi har ikke sådan nogle sten i Danmark, men vi har det lige over på den anden side af Øresund.
Okay, i Sverige.
Og den hænger sammen med, at vi har en helt anden geologi, når vi kommer over på den anden side af Øresund. Og stenen her kalder vi en gnejs, fordi den under den bjergkædeforhold, vi snakker om, er blevet presset hårdt sammen, så mineralerne er blevet orienteret parallelt med hinanden. Og det er altså en sten, som er transporteret hertil af isen, da isen sidste gang bevægede sig fra skandinaviske halvø ind over Sverige, ind over Danmark for 12.000 år siden.
Så det kan ikke komme fra Himmelbjerget?
Nej, det gør den bestemt ikke. Fordi Himmelbjerget består af grus. Men så er det, når isen dækker Skandinavien, så dækker den jo de højeste bjerge. Og så glider den jo ned fra de højeste steder ned mod de lavere steder. Og der kan man sige, at når vi snakker København, så når den norske is ikke herned til, der er den svenske is. Hvor man går til Nordjylland, så er det den norske is. Så er det isen fra Norge, der smider sine sten deroppe. Og der kunne du finde en tilsvarende sten som den her. Ja, altså nu har du fundet en Kongens Have, så det vil sige, at den her er nok svensk. Men du kunne altså, hvis du havde kommet med en sten, du havde fundet oppe i Vendsyssel nord for Limfjorden, så vil jeg sige, at den er nok kommet fra Telemarken i Norge.
I sit on the train for 22 hours, up through all of Sweden and up to Kiruna in Lapland. From there I take a bus for an hour to Nikkaluokta, but I still have to walk 19 kilometers up to Kebnekaise Fell Station. Kebnekaise is Sweden's highest mountain peak. It's tough on my unfit body, and the rucksack feels heavy, but there's a smell of fresh rain, and I experience a wonderful stillness. I can hear voices in the woods, and it's as if someone is playing on a drum. A group of people in colourful costume are hiding in the woods. They're dancing and watching me. I actually get a little scared. but they don't mean me any harm. They're just a little curious about the strange man who set himself such an absurd task. Ah, it moves! This isn't going to work. It's swinging too much. What am I going to do if I fall down and break my leg? Who's going to help me? Oh, is it here that it flips over? No, it was nothing. Just think, you can take the trip in a helicopter for 400 Swedish krona. You'd be cheating yourself if you did. I arrive at a hut where a Lapp woman is selling coffee and huge great waffles with jam and whipped cream. It's a whole meal. There's still a long way to go, but I've reached Lajajara Lake, and from there you can see Kebnekaise. It's over 2,000 meters high, but a boat trip shortens the journey by 5 kilometers, and I'm pleased about that. There are 2 lads on board from Venezuela. They want to go up to the top, and they've already climbed the highest mountain in their own country. They're quite confident, but it's been raining for a while now, and the Lapps are saying that it's not definite we'll be going up. The captain is playing with the birds. He's chasing after them at top speed, and he's forgotten all about us. He's really enjoying himself, but then he gets back on course again. I keep climbing up to the top of a hill, only to see that there's another hill waiting. It's beautiful, but it's never going to end. I decide to take a long break. There's a lovely smell of heather. I want to lie down in the heather and sleep forever. When winter comes, I'll freeze up and become one with nature. And in the spring, I'll hear the birds sing, and the sweet smell of heather will be in my nose. I'm a part of the earth, a seed, a dream. I finally arrive at the fell station at 7 o'clock in the evening. I'm completely tired out. My legs are like rubber and every muscle in my body is stiff and sore. But I feel good inside. At 9 the next morning, there's a meeting for those who've signed up for a guided tour to the top. For the last 2 weeks, it hasn't been possible to go up because of rain and slippery conditions. Many at the station have been disappointed because they've had to turn back.
Jag heter Niklas och arbetar då som guide här på Kebnekaise fjällstation. Och det här är en kille som får presentera sig själv.
Jag heter Mattias.
Jag kommer vara den som håller, vad ska man säga, första spåret under dagen. Och Mattias, han kommer se till så att alla hänger med där längst bak. Jag tänkte kolla lite grann på det vad ni har på er på fötterna så här. Goda kängor eller någon form av vandringsstövlar. Att ni har mer lunchmat för 2 luncher. Vi kommer gå upp för ganska branta backar här i början och sen kommer vi ha en lunch. Efter det fortsätter vi upp mot toppen och efter vi kommer tillbaka från toppen en bit ner så kommer vi också spisa en lunch. Är det någonting mer?
Nej.
Ja, jag tror att det är ganska bra.
It's tough. It's really tough. And they use the first peak to find out who won't be able to complete the whole trip. One girl has already dropped out, and I'm scared that I'll be the next. The guides set high standards, not only in relation to our equipment, but to what we carry in our packs too.
Ja, det som krävs för toppturen, om man ska gå den, är att man har ett par rejäla kängor eller ett par rejäla vandringsstövlar. Men här ser vi att man har ett par kängor som är lite högre. Eftersom det är lite klättring, man behöver lite stabilare skor och så då. Rejäl matsäck ska man med sig. Med varmdryck och även vatten ska man ha med sig ordentligt. Minst 1,5 liter, sen kan man ju fylla på vatten efter vägen också. För det är bäckar och sånt vi går förbi.
It's tough on my body, which has only been trained to walk on the flat asphalt of Copenhagen. I start to fall behind, and it's as if the big hill is trying to break me. The guides tell me that I ought to consider turning back, but my willpower carries me on, with pain, sweat and blood. Finally the break arrives. I've passed the first test. It's foggy and cold on the mountain.
Ja, att det är ganska sällan det är klarblå himmel och så, det är inte ofta. Så vi har haft 2 dagar de senaste 3 veckorna där det har varit klarblå himmel i princip här. Men man kan ju komma upp i alla fall. Idag var det inte klarblå himmel, men molntäcket var relativt högt då. Nu var det molnen på toppen, men det var lugnt väder och då är det okej att gå upp.
Vi börjar ta på oss ryggsäcken så går vi vidare. Som sagt, ungefär 20-30 minuter kvar till lunch. Så att vi bara hålla ut en stund till.
The stones here are the same colour as you, but they don't have quite the same pattern. But I can't think about that now. I'm too busy trying to breathe, and I mustn't put a foot wrong. When we get up to the glacier, Mattias has to go on ahead to fix up a rope with his ice pick. He goes in on his own onto the glacier, and it's dangerous to go in alone, but he knows where to walk. We'll go in a little later, when the rope is ready for us.
Har man inte kunskap så ska man inte vara här. För glaciärer är aldrig någonting att leka. Det finns ju sprickor som kan vara 15-20 meter djupa. Så att vet man inte vad som väntar en här, då ska man inte vara här heller. Men med rätt kunskaper så är det okej. Vi går vidare.
Den glaciären vi gick på är relativt snäll, men kommer man fel så kan man komma ut i områden där det är en massa sprickor. Och där det är även snötäckta glaciärsprickor då. Vi gick ju direkt på isen och då ser man ju sprickorna och glaciärbrunnarna också som finns där då. Vi gick ju över en snöbrygga idag, precis innan vi gick på klättringen så gick vi på en snöbrygga. Men den är stark fortfarande, men det är sånt man får kolla varje gång man kommer upp nu då.
Large and small stones fall down from the side of the mountain, and the glacier moves them further and further away, approximately 1 meter every 50 years. But the smallest stones melt down into the ice and sink into the 200-meter deep glacier. That wouldn't be a good fate for my stone, so I'm very careful with it as we begin to climb up the mountainside.
Det kan vara att någon ramlar, stukar foten, någonting. Bara en sån liten grej här uppe kan bli väldigt stor. Händer det nere i en stad till exempel, ja men då hoppar man in i en taxi så åker man hem eller någonting, eller så åker man till sjukhuset. Men här, det blir så mycket värre här. Bara en sån liten grej blir så mycket värre. för du kanske inte kan ta det för du kanske är flera mil från närmaste väg. Och en del kanske köper skor direkt till exempel från affären, så går de ut här utan att gå in dem hemma och då får de väldigt mycket skavsår. Ja, i sån här fjäll, du måste kunna karta och kompass. Du ska kunna kolla liksom och ha lite hum om vädret och kunna vända i tid om det är på gång någonting. Och veta vad man ska ha på sig, vad man ska ha med sig. Och sunt förnuft är det väl mycket. Men många ger sig ut i fjällen utan att veta egentligen vad de ger sig in på. Att det kan vara rätt tufft när det drar igång och blåser och regnar och så.
Suddenly we arrive, but the actual top is made of ice. A top glacier, like a topping on an ice cream. That's a problem, because my stone will melt into the ice and disappear into the glacier, and I'm not too happy about that.
Ja, vi står nu på nästan högst upp på Sveriges högsta topp, Kebnekaise, och det här är då en toppglaciär, så att den här toppen ändrar höjd från år till år. Och i år så är den alltså 2107,5 meter. Det beror på att det var väldigt lite snö vintern som har varit och att det har regnat mycket i sommar. Som mest så har den varit 2121 meter. Så vi är bara några meter under toppen nu.
There's only room for 2 on the top at a time, and you only get 2 minutes up there. We take it in turns to go up, and you have to hold on to a rope, otherwise you risk falling down and disappearing forever. Things aren't how I want them to be. I'd wanted to place the stone somewhere where it could enjoy the view. It was meant to freeze up during the winter, but be bathed in sunshine in the summer. It was meant to be at one with nature, but here it'll just disappear into the ice clump. Finally, it's my turn.
Woo!
It's fantastic, totally fantastic. I can't see anything, but I'm on top of Sweden. I've made it. I can do it. Little friend, you're not to be left here. You don't belong here. You're going to go on travelling. It's a little moment for Kebnekaise, but a great moment for me. The Norwegian wooden houses are the only proper ones. They're both old-fashioned and modern. My father built his own house. If I'm ever going to have a house, then I'll have to build it myself too. But it'll have to be a house like this one, in this type of environment, and preferably 2 stories. It'll have to be down by a fjord, with a fell on the horizon, and there'll have to be a garage where I can build a sailboat together with my boys. That's what I'm thinking as I travel through the landscape. But Bjørn Dahlin, a teacher, has told me about the place I'm on my way to.
Ja, Jotunheimen nasjonalpark er jo et avgrenset område som er forbeholdt turisme og friluftsliv. Der all motorisert ferdsel er forbudt, og hvor det kun er vi som naturmennesker som kan boltre oss. Og det er jo et enormt areale med fjell, vidder, fjellvann. Ja, det er helt tatt, det er vel det flotteste området vi har i Norge. Vi har jo de høyeste fjelltoppene i Norge der. Galdhøpiggen, Glittertind, Bessø, Skagastølstinnene. Så det er jo der, alle er jo fra 2200 og oppover til 2468, som er det klassiske tallet.
Oh no, fog on the mountain. That means I won't be going up to the fell hut today. But I have to get up there. The season is almost over, and as such the bus has stopped.
Nei, det eneste jeg vet om Galdhøpiggen jo at det liksom det fjellet som alle ønsker å bestige i Norge, og den lette måten å kjøre opp til Juvashytta med bil, og så følge en leder over Styggebreien, og så opp til toppen.
I'm forced to take a taxi, which costs 600 kroner just to get up to the fell hut. But from that hut, there are guided tours up to Norway's highest mountain peak, Galdhøpiggen, which is 2,469 meters high, and is in fact the highest fell in all of Northern Europe. I've reached Javashytte in Jotunheimen, the nearest hut to Galdhøpiggen. But there isn't any guided tour today. It's raining and foggy at the top, and what's more, not enough people have signed up for the tour. There's only me and 2 Swedes, a father and his son. We're the only guests in the whole hut. I'm not allowed to go alone, because you have to cross a dangerous glacier, and you have to go together using a rope. So I have to wait until tomorrow. Then it begins to snow, and my hopes sink down into my stomach like a clump of chewing gum. It doesn't look good. It's the last week where they arrange tours up there. Should I give up and come back next summer? No, there has to be another solution.
Men vil man ha en ordentlig utfordring, så drar man til Spiterstulen og starter på 1100 meter. Og da sier det seg selv at da ligger det 1360 meter og venter i steil stigning. Det en flott utfordring.
The Swedes can't be bothered to wait. They go over to another hut, Spiterstulen, because from there you can go up without a guide past the glacier. But that's the most physically demanding route to the top, and I probably wouldn't be able to manage it. I met them later, and they told me how the son had fallen into a flooded stream and broke his jaw. They never made it to the top. There's no guided tour the next day either. I'm the only one signed up. What's he up to? He thinks he can play a bit. Should I take it? Hey, what did you do that for? Okay, what do you say to that? My God, this is a boring game. Who invented it? It's utterly uncreative. Just stupid pieces that kill each other. He's out to get my queen. Why do you always have to take the queen when it's the queen you need? It's no use waiting if there's nothing to wait for. There's only one thing to do. I take the same route as the Swedes. I don't care if it's the physically demanding route up to the peak. I feel a sense of freedom, because now it's up to me alone. I'm no longer dependent on other people's decisions. That's what I experienced in Copenhagen, being dependent on other people's decisions. A group of people sit on a committee and make decisions over your head. That's my day-to-day life in Copenhagen, but I'm not going to take it anymore.
It's all up to you. It's all up to me. How this life
Finally, long into the afternoon, I catch sight of Spitterstolen hut, deep down in a lush valley. There's a sauna, young people, and I have a really good dinner. That night, I sleep like a little boy who dreams about adventures and many new projects. I leave early next morning. The weather forecast says that the clouds won't be down as low as yesterday. The fresh morning air is stimulating, and my little stone and I are ready for the final ascent.
Finding my way onto the top, walking this way and never I'll stop, flying away.
Du vet, det er jo et fantastisk nett av turisthytter. Noen er betjent, andre er ubetjent. Man kan gå fra hytte til hytte dag etter dag. Det fine er jo at man også kan gå på hytter hvor man er for seg selv, og man kan kjøpe maten der og betale for det, og på de såkalte selvbetjente hyttene.
There are lots of stones here that look like you. They've got the same colour and the same pattern. Is this where you come from?
Farlig er jo å overvurdere seg selv og å ikke lytte til værmeldingen. Å tro at vind og kulde er noe man klarer, men får man sterk vind, så tapper man krefter fort. Veldig farlig med snøfall om sommeren, for da mister du all merkingen. Ja, for man mister så fort orienteringsevnen i tåken, ikke sant? Og så er det fort gjort å ta feil retning, og det er jo stygge skrenter og stup, og da er det lett å falle utfor. Så det har vi eksempler på.
There are 3 peaks on the mountain, and I have to go over the first 2 to get to the last. I finally see the top, astride which there is a strange hut with 4 horns. There are lots of people sitting in the hut, drinking cocoa, but I'm not here to drink hot chocolate.
Yes! Yes!
A group of school children have their own way of expressing themselves.
I'm the king of the world!
I asked Björn what I should do if I reached the top.
Nyte hvert sekund. Lage sin mat, se på utsikten, snu seg 360 grader og suge inn alt fra Skagastølstinden i vest og over mot Gaustatoppen i sydøst. Og ja, det hele, du har jo et rundskue som ingen andre steder.
It's not whether there's a blue sky and a view that's important. What's important is that I can feel that I've arrived at the right place. The stone belongs here. My mission is accomplished.
Ja vel, min lille venn. Du har sendt meg afsted på en lang reise. Takk for at du satte meg i gang med å se på finne det høyeste fjellet. Nå kan jeg se at du matcher med til de stiger sten. Det var hårdt, men tusen takk. Nu skal jeg begrave dig hernede i sneen. Fordi her er dit hjem.
I've got a lot of mixed feelings right now. A mixture of sadness and pride. I've worked and fought and beaten the unbeatable. I've also experienced the most beautiful moments in nature. I believe the stone made me climb the highest mountain deliberately, to show me that I can do much more than I believe.
Og da sommeren kommer, og solen kommer, så må du kigge på og se på udsigten for mig. Det er meget smukt, det ved jeg. Min ven, tak for rejsen.
I continue to fight in Copenhagen. My self-confidence has improved, and I've developed another way of looking at things. I have faith in myself, and it's my creative force that's driving me now. If you want something to happen in your life, then it's no use sitting on a park bench. You have to get on with it yourself. That was the truth the stone revealed to me.